We're doing it without the microphone. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I don't seem to have a husband that wants to fix this stuff. Um, can you guys hear me fine? Because I went back and listened to a live without the mic. And here's the deal, it is better quality when I do it with Aaron. But when I'm by myself, like now, I don't notice a difference. I think it sounds fine. Do you guys think it sounds fine? I need feedback. Somebody say something. Can't just be me, guys. This is a group effort here. It's a group effort. Everybody participate. We'll sit and wait. Oh, everybody says it sounds good. Okay. Okay, Steve. I like the mic too. But here's the deal. I kind of like it without that thing in my face and I have to lean forward to talk into it. Can I do it like I'm on a stage in Vegas where I just hold a mic? Because that would be fun too. I like the hands free. I like not having to lean into anything. You can see my necklace. My face isn't covered. Steve, we're gonna get there. I just need Jeff to give me the cord because the cord is bent from when I traveled. Why this hasn't been fixed yet is beyond me. What is Jeffrey even doing? Can somebody answer that? Yeah, Duchess Diana, there always is a little bit of a pause when I ask you guys a question. I'm not sure why that is. Yeah, love pure. You don't like that in your face thing either. Oh, were you talking about something else? I just caught it. I just caught it as I read it. I don't mind that in my face thing so much, if that's what we're talking about. But we both know that I have quite the drive. You know who doesn't have the drive? Jeff. And we're going to talk about that today too. Hang on, did I miss something? No. Guys, I went and got my teeth cleaned. That feels good. I made a smoothie. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to drink some of that on camera because I was hungry and I didn't feel like eating food. I went and got my teeth clean and I need to share something with you guys because I'm blown away by it. Look at my dentist. Holy bodacious Bahama Mamas. That's my dentist. Look at my dentist at their office Christmas party last year. They had an office Christmas party and she posted pictures of it. And I need to share that with you as well. That's my dentist, you guys. Yeah, Steve. I know, Lori. Okay, good. We're all on the same page here. I was like, yeah, I know. Barb, SBTV Tattoo Warrior. She is a dentist and she also does, she just posted pictures of her doing Botox. Look at her. Look at her. Holy, holy bodacious Bahama Mamas. She is so hot that, yeah, she is a smoke show. I know. And usually I don't like a doctor that's that hot because I actually feel like I have to put makeup on when I go to the dentist, which I really didn't today. My appointment was too early to be doing that. Can she dance in a cage, John? I don't know, but you know what? We can always ask. I am pretty open with her. She's unbelievable. She is ripped. I know. I wish I could afford. She is, what do you think? What do you guys think she specializes in? Cosmetic, right? She did a whole tooth plan for me. I need to get a couple of things done here. And it's not that expensive, the plan they came up with, and I want her to do it. She did a crown for me last year. She's done a filling for me. And she's intimidating to be around. Like, she is so hot. No, Steve, she is a full-on dentist. She does it all. She's not a hygienist. She doesn't clean teeth. My hygienist I really love. Um, yeah, you guys, it's shocking to me that Jeff hasn't switched to her. Jeff has his own dentist somewhere else. And I was like, babe, I'm not going to be upset if you want to come with me to my appointment or if you want to switch to her. Like, do you know how many male patients she probably has? Ty's channel. Thanks for cracking me up on a regular basis, Reese. A few bucks for Huxley's trip. Thank you. That was really nice of you. Thank you. She's super nice, Naomi. And she's actually like weird. This is really stereotypical of me to do this. I thought when I first saw her picture and I hadn't met her yet, I thought she'd be more like, hi, I'm Dr. Careswell. Like, I thought she'd be more like a Kardashian or something. She's actually pretty serious. She has a dry sense of humor because I made her laugh with my dry humor. So I knew that she had dry humor. But it took me a minute to read her because I thought she was going to be more like bubbly and like match the boobs. No, she's more like kind of serious. And she's like looking and she was like, I'd like to do this. I'd like to work on that. And I was like, yeah, but tell me about your personal life. Like, I want to know more about where are you really making your money? Because if I looked like that, I can tell you right now, I'd be making all kinds of money, not doing crowns. She's a babe. She's super hot. And, you know, yeah, like a Valley girl. She's not like that. You know, the other thing, what was I going to say? I don't know. I read your comment, Lori, and I went blank. Probably won't come back either. But I did ask her about her cooter, Lydia Von Stretchclaw. How do you like that? I did ask her about her cooter. You know why? I really, truly did. Because at my last appointment, which was right before the end of the year, I would have my insurance was going to cover most of the crown I needed. So I had it done like right before January 1. And I was in the chair and I had just come from my pap smear. I literally went from my pap smear to get a crown. And I remember telling my OB about it. And I was like, I don't know what's worse. I had my legs all spread and I was like, I'm about to go get a crown, but you're scraping my cooter. You're feeling my ovaries. I don't know what's worse. Like, this is possibly the worst day of a woman's life, but which appointment's worse? And she was like, I'd rather have a pap smear. My OB said that. And I was like, of course you would say that, you know, but I think I would rather have, I don't know. I don't like having dental work done. So then I put my pants on and I went to, yes, they do, Steve. That's a lie and a fraud. That's fake news. She was doing a pelvic exam, Steve, and she shoved her whole damn hand up there. And she was like, feeling with one hand from the outside and one from the inside. And she said she was feeling my ovaries. Steve, you don't have ovaries. You don't know what that's about. Yes, she did. Back to the story, since Steve interrupted us about ovaries. So I put my pants on and I went to the hot girl and I'm laying there in the chair and she just numbed me. And I said, she goes, how's your day going? And I was like, oh, not great. I just had a pap smear. And she was like, oh, she goes, you know, I don't have to have pap smears anymore. Victoria, for super chat. Thank you for being awesome. Open you. You've given me hope. I love that, girl. Stay with me. Thank you for the super chat. She goes, I don't have to have pap smears anymore. And I was like, why? Because your body's just that perfect that like nothing could possibly happen. Like, please expound on what you just said. And she said, I had a hysterectomy. She was like, I gifted that to myself so that I can live forever. I don't know. I don't know if it was like the magic potion from Death Becomes Her, that movie. I don't know, but she was very proud of it. And she said she doesn't have to have pap smears anymore. And I said, well, how did you feel when you had to have a pap smear? Are you like proud of your vagina? Because I told her, I said, the rest of you looks perfect. So I was like, you know, tell me if I'm crossing a line, but when you look the way you look, as if you were carved by Jesus himself, I just wondered, are you proud of your vagina as well? And she said, I'm pretty proud of my vagina. And I said, I believe that. And I kind of thought that that would be the case. And I bet it's perfect in every way. And she said, it's pretty perfect. And we laughed. And that's what I mean. She had a dark sense of humor. I knew it because she went there with me and she didn't have a problem. She wasn't like, she wasn't uncomfortable. But when you pay to look that good, my guess is you have no problem talking about it, showing it. I bet she would have shown me her boobs if I'd asked. I brought up her boobs. I said, I'm married, I'm straight, but I just have to say, and I told her she had bodacious Bahama mamas. And she said, thank you. And she kind of shook them in her little scrub top. And I was like, all right, here we go. Let's do this crown. And that was it. But it was a nice little smooth, entryway into, and she eased my dental anxiety. I have a little, not a lot. I've had 7 root canals. So I've been to the rodeo. But after talking about her vagina and her boobs, I felt better about it. I don't know. I just felt at ease. I was like, she knows what she's doing. And she did the crown right. She did it right. And if I can afford it, I really want to have this cosmetic thing that she was going to do. It was only like $1,400 or $1,500. She's going to do like composite instead of veneers, because veneers are crazy expensive. I don't know. It was like a cheaper route. And she was like, it's not that expensive and I can really fix up your front teeth. And I was like, I bet you can fix up a lot of things, girl. Again, I kind of feel like I need to bring up another photo because she is all about pictures of herself. She posts pictures of herself all the time. Look at her tiny waist. Look at her tiny waist and her huge boobs and her perfect hair. Who looks like that? I know. I'm not switching either. Like, I really like her. If I was a guy, I would have no chance, but still. Lisa, I am dying laughing. Thank you. You're welcome. Seattle Rain, I just got something from you in the mail like 6 minutes ago before this live. Thank you for the super sticker. I got that from my Amazon wish list from you. I got that throw blanket. Thank you for that. My teeth, thank you for that. Are we there yet? They're not great. Look at this. She pointed something out to me that I did not know. I need something where, see this tooth and this tooth. Look at how the gum is dropped down over here and it's higher here. So she's going to cut that, which is kind of freaky to me. John, if you're buying anybody an automobile, it's me. So she can get in line, John. I am offended right now. Are you trying to say that I'm ugly, John? It's okay if you are. We all know I am. But seriously, get me a car before you get her a car. That's the only thing I would buy if I won the lottery. We've talked about this. 2 things. I'd want a nice car to put all the rescue dogs in, and then I'd want a pool in the backyard to swim with the dogs. That's it. That's the only thing I would change. Beck, thank you for the super sticker. Yeah, Shannon, your front teeth are all composite. Yes. And then she's going to see how these are uneven. See that chip? She's just going to fix all that up. Steve, if you get the confidence and routine down, I think your stories and the way you tell them could launch a fabulous stand-up career. Thank you, Steve. That's not going to happen because I would be too scared to talk in front of a bunch of people like that. I just feel like I would pass out. But thank you that is quite the compliment, my friend. Thank you. Denver Steve-O, I feel like you would really enjoy Dr. Careswell. Bandana fan, how do you not wash your mouth out with bleach trying to make sure your mouth is clean as AF to go see her? Yeah, it gives me anxiety just going to see her. Literally this morning, I was like, God, I wish my appointment wasn't so early. Like, I washed my hair yesterday for her. I was like, I want to have clean hair. You're never going to look as good. John, you wouldn't do to, okay, John, that's John. Steve, you would pay money to watch me pass out? I mean, if there was like a blanket or something down, I would hope you would put something there for me. Her name is, I think I didn't have the courage to ask her this, Lori, if she paid to change her name to this. Her name is Holly, which of course it is. Her last name is Careswell. Come on. Why am I hearing talking? It sounds like there's a TV on in my house. I hope there's no murderer upstairs because it's supposed to be empty up there. Yes, Steve, I do realize that, but I'm not in a public setting where a bunch of eyeballs are staring at me and I fall flat on a joke and people are like, "You suck! You suck! Get off the stage, Quibell!" So no, if you guys are criticizing me right now, I'm in this nice little toasty area with a candle behind me and my dogs, and I'm at ease. So no, it's not quite the same thing. Sandy, I opened them last night. I have not brought them down to show everybody, guys. I got a beautiful chicken. Sandy knitted me some gifts, you guys, and it's unbelievable. I got a poncho that has changed my whole life. You did the colors I love. And I sent pictures to my mom, and she was like, "That's unbelievable artwork. Sandy, I love you." Thank you. Yes, I did. Yeah, you guys. Oh my God. Is that Jill? You guys, what are you doing in here? Okay, see, I get weird when people I really know in real life come into my chats. This is why I don't talk about what I do. Jill, I feel embarrassed. My face is flushing. You guys, I know Jill. She's a very close friend. Everybody welcome Jill Easley. Okay, I just have to tell you, and then I'll come back to the comments. Jill is amazing. She has a really cool boutique not far from my house. Her daughter is a Chiefs cheerleader, and I worked with her for a while, and I love that girl so much. And she loves me. Jill does, because she just said it. Let's prove it. Where'd it go? She said it. We saw her say it. Jill, I love you. Thank you for being supportive. That's amazing. It's awkward too, though. I have to be honest. It's awkward for people I know to watch me. I know that sounds weird, but I love you, Jill. I hope I can see you soon. We should meet for breakfast like we did before. Everybody's saying hi to Jill. Joni Cummings had my lady physical. The doctor said my cervix is too damn sure. My doctor is hot, damn the man, but my doctor hates my uterus. Well, that's a terrible thing for a doctor to hate. Joni, thank you for that super chat, but that's disappointing as all get out. I'm going to tell you right now. Yes, Steve, we both know we're looking at webcams. Yes, I'm just not comfortable doing it out in the public. I'm going to catch up here. John, you guys, most of you men in this chat would fly here for her. I can't believe Jeff hasn't switched. This weirds me out about Jeff. If I was a dude, I'd be like, "Can I get on the wait list for Dr. Careswell, please? Any time of day, anything. I'll reschedule my firstborn child's being born." Like, Jeff is like, "I'm happy with Dr. Mouse Tower." That's not his real name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It sounds like Mouse Tower. And he's a dick swinger, Dr. Mouse Tower. That's why I switched to Dr. Hottie. Thank you for that, Helen FBO. I appreciate that. Okay, Steve. Oh, everybody said hi to Jill. Welcome, Jill. Lisa Cobb, the weird hat you sent me. I just opened a bunch of stuff, and Huxley opened some of it. So I don't know the names with some of them. And Huxley got a real talking to about that, by the way. Lisa, I wonder if you sent me, because I actually got a lot of weird hats. The weird hat thing kind of took off more than I would have expected it to. Let's see. Yes, you did send me the candy corn hat, but it doesn't fit my head. Is it supposed to be really a hat? Because I love that brand. I think Jill sells that brand in her store. Is it Mud Pie? It doesn't fit my head. It's weird. I'm like, maybe it's supposed to just be a decoration. It is so cute. I love it. Yes, thank you, Lisa. I'm glad I knew that was from you. Catching up. Hold on. I got to catch up here. I get behind. He knows he doesn't even have time to look at another woman. Um, yeah, Jeff, I don't know Jeff that well. If Jeff does look at other women and like flirt it up, he's doing it super behind my back. But I don't think Jeff is doing that because when I first started trying to date Jeff, I couldn't get the guy to flirt with me. Like I didn't know if he was even into me because he was too awkward. So I kind of get that he doesn't know how to flirt. Really, Roberta? Those are your two lottery wishes too? Yeah, that's it. That's what I would change. Judy Dolan, if you tell me what it is that you sent, I might. So, since I've only been home for 2 days and been gone for 2 weeks, I'm still going through everything, but I'm sure I did receive it. And I don't want you to think I'm being rude by not acknowledging you. So, thank you, first of all, for sending me something. I'm just still going through everything. There were quite a few things I have to go through, and I still haven't even finished unpacking my suitcase yet. Oh, yeah. I think how many men I don't know. I think how many men go to Dr. Careswell and probably like it's probably awkward. Thank you, Lydia Von Stretchclaw. Jeff knows he's already got himself a winner. I don't know, guys. Jeff and I haven't been getting along that well the last week or so. It's been very off, very awkward, but it's also nothing new. I mean, it's not like this is strange. It's not strange. It actually happens more than you would even imagine. Audrey, my French friend, bonjour, Reese. So nice to catch alive after such a too long time. Tell us about Jeff and the flirt nowadays. Oh, well, I just did, didn't I? I love you, Audrey. I'm happy to hear from you. I don't think Jeff would feel that way, SPTV Tattoo Warrior, but maybe he would. Jeff would look at Dr. Hottie and think, yeah, she's not Reese. Bye, Jill. Love you. Thanks for popping in. Oh my God. Yes, tell Alexa to come in. I would totally love to see her. I love Jill. Jeff isn't a flirter. Well, you guys know that. Jeff's awkward. He's even awkward on here. He has like dad humor. I'm surprised he doesn't wear like jean shorts and New Balances, but I would never let him. That's marriage. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. So I had therapy yesterday. Yeah, jorts. I had therapy yesterday, and that's why I didn't do a live. I was tired after therapy. I think it was just I hadn't gone in a couple of weeks, and it felt so good to go. But I unpacked and unloaded a lot of stuff with him, and I'm happy I have another appointment with him next week. Yeah, SPTV Tattoo Warrior, you haven't seen how he looks at you. He's over the moon for you. No, Lori, we haven't done any couples counseling. I know you guys love Jeff. Jeff's a good guy, but there's a lot we suffer from a lot. Like I do wonder sometimes if it's the age gap, but at the same time, I didn't have this problem with Fred, and Fred was much older than Jeff. So I don't know if it's a generational thing. Jeff is just very structured and very set in his ways. And Jeff, the problem that I run into the most with Jeff is he would disagree with what I'm about to say, but he has to be right. And so much so that Jeff will tear you down, if we disagree and he thinks he's right and I'm wrong. And it'll get to a point where he'll just be like, well, you're wrong and this is why, and you're not, that's in your head and you're making that up, but this is the actual truth and you don't see reality. That's what Jeff will do sometimes to me. And I have nowhere to go with that because it triggers me a lot when that kind of like, he'll say to me a lot like, well, you're making that up in your head and that's actually not true. Oh my God. Look at how quick that happened. There's our little Alexa. She's in the chat. That's Jill's daughter. And you guys, tell her congratulations. This is her second year. She's a Chiefs cheerleader. She is a Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader, and she's so cute. Alexa, I'm going to show them your picture. Is that okay? I have to. It's Hot Girl Day. We just showed pictures of my hot dentist, and I want everyone to see you in your Chiefs uniform. Where is it? Why am I? Oh, you guys, this is Alexa. Look at how cute. She's a Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader. She is a big deal. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that too, Evelyn Lee Barney. He is extremely political. I'm not going to go there. I don't like to even follow Jeff on Facebook for that reason, because Jeff is very into the news and politics, and it's kind of more his life. I'm the opposite of that. So I don't get into that. Alexa, I love that you're in here. Gertie is next to me. She's sleeping, and she's so cute about it. It's so cute. Liddy? She's snoozing. Alexa has babysat Gertie for me before, you guys. She was my house sitter before she became a big deal. But Evelyn, you're not wrong there. Yeah. Isn't Alexa so pretty, you guys? She is like the most perfect, gorgeous little angel. And she's really tall. And I just have always thought she was so cute. She worked with me in senior living. She was perfect in senior living. They loved her. Little Trudy. Alexa calls Gertie Trudy because her name is Gertrude. And so Alexa always called her Trudy. And I brought her to work every day, and Gertie would get so excited to see Alexa. Gertie doesn't love everybody. She's kind of a funny little sensitive thing, as we all know, because Alexa, I don't know if you know this, but I told the story. Gertie was born next to Jesus in the manger on that windy night in the hay with the three men and the gold coins and the North Star. Gertie was born right next to Christ. And that's in the Bible, as we all know. Some lady said she heard about it in her Sunday school class. But you know that, Alexa, knowing Gertie. And so she's picky. She's picky about her people. Gertie loves Alexa, you guys. Like, she loves her. I don't know if Jeff watches Fox News, to be honest. I think he does. But I mean, I just stay out of that. I stay out of that on here. I don't get into politics, and I don't get into religion because I grew up in a cult, and I have to be honest, it doesn't interest me. It's not a subject that I'm interested in fighting with people about. So Jeff and I really, like, if he even starts to talk politics with me, I'm like, I don't care, and I don't want to hear about it. I'm not keeping up on it. Yeah. Yeah, Robin, it's absolutely gaslighting. That's what I mean. He's just very set in his ways, and he's proud of where he's gotten. I'm the opposite of Jeff in every way. Like, he's Mr. Confident. Nothing he does is incorrect. Like, everything's calculated. It's fine to be that way, I suppose, but I'm the opposite of that. I second guess everything I do. I worry about people not liking me. We're just total opposites. And so when we fight, I probably come from a point of, like, with a lot of emotions, and I'm like, that hurt my feelings. And he's like, but that's subjective, and you're wrong. And I just don't like that. And so Jeff and I have not been on the same page for a little while. And he's a great guy. I'm not trying to make him sound like a bad guy, but he's just very firm in his convictions and his decisions. And I have way more flexibility. I'm like, well, it could go this way, or maybe we haven't thought about it that way. And he's like, no, it's this way. And I'm like, okay, that's all. Cheryl Neal. Oh, I am so happy I caught some Reese live. You always brighten my day, be it live or replay. Happy pre-Friday, Reese. Well, thank you, Cheryl Neal. That is so nice. Yeah, Lydia, Gertie was in the Bible for sure. Lori, 100%, girl, and keep it that way for me. Zero politics zone. We can talk about cults, but we're not talking about politics, because I can't even keep up with it. I don't watch. Shelley Walsh, wait, that Gertie, the born next to Jesus Gertie, you have the Gertie? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the Gertie. She was born next to JC. Um, and they were both just had little eyeballs and they popped them open at the same time. And, the mom was there, the one, not Marcia, Mary. The three dudes came with their little sacks of gold coins. It was a windy evening on the birth of Christ and Gert and Christ. But it was a lovely time, and they frolicked in the manger together. As soon as Christ was able to run and crawl, Gertie and him held hands, and they frolicked through the breezy grasses. And it was a sweet time. It was a sweet time. Lisa Marchbanks, miss you. Hey, Sprinkle Tits, that's cute. I should call my dentist that. I finally caught you live. Big hugs to you, beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Beck, it is hard. It's hard living with someone like that. And it makes me uncomfortable too, but I'm just being real with you guys. Jeff's probably going to be upset that I shared this, but here's the deal. Like, I hate it more than anything when people promote their life on social media and everything's perfect. And I don't want anyone to think that about me, which you probably don't. But yeah, we're real and we have problems and we fight. And Jeff has a certain way of how he does things. And I can't get through to that or change it in any way. And it makes it hard because he sees things as so black and white. And I just don't. That's all. I just think, well, what if this way works better? What if that? And he tends to be like, no, because this is the way. And I'm like, okay, I can't work with that. It doesn't happen all the time, but it ticks up. And then we have these bad couple of weeks, and then it gets on an upswing, and then it goes back down. And yeah, Robin, clearly very different than the previous wife, and maybe that worked with her. No, apparently they fought all the time. And I think Jeff has brought that a little bit into this marriage. And he's admitted to that. He's admitted to, we fought all the time. And so that's just kind of my MO. Well, now that we've been together for 5 years, he's scaled back a little, but he still goes into that, like, he feels like he's being attacked mode. Like, I'll ask him something and he'll be like, you're attacking me. And I'm like, listen, brother, I grew up in Scientology. I attacked people all the time and they attacked me. I'm not about that life anymore. I'm all about peace. I don't want to raise my voice. I don't want to argue. I don't want to yell. That's the last thing I want to do anymore, because that's all I did my whole life. Starting at the age of 4 or 5 was just a lot of screaming, and it never stopped till I was 38. So I don't want to live that kind of a life. And it's come to a point. I mean, Jeff never, ever, ever wants to be apart. But I have brought up, even a couple of days ago, I was like, maybe we shouldn't be together anymore then. Because I am less tolerant of being willing to just fight. Like, Jeff will be like, people fight. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not really willing to live that life anymore, to the point where I will go be alone. I'm not going to be in a marriage where I have to be told that I'm making things up or that I'm wrong. Like, even if it's just a little, I just don't want to, I want a life of peace. Yeah. And maybe it's a generational thing. I'm catching up here. Yes, Keela. Reese, I'm in the same relationship, but it is opposite. I love to talk about things, but he doesn't want to give Jeff a little, he doesn't want to. So give Jeff a little grace. We all have our own little quirks. I totally agree with that, Keela. And I'm all about giving grace, but I'm not about giving grace when I always tell Jeff, stay in your own lane. When you speak for me and tell me what I'm doing wrong and it's all me and it's in my head and I'm making that up, that's where I have a problem. If you want to, have your own words and voice your emotions or how you feel about something, I'm totally respect that. But don't tell me what I'm doing, because that bothers me. He will go, so you don't realize you're doing this, but this is what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, like that triggers me way too much. It's very gaslighty and I don't like it. I just don't like it. But I'm all about giving Jeff grace. We've been together for a long time and I give him grace and I hope he gives me grace. I'm not saying I'm perfect either. Jilbo Baggins, I haven't watched the news since 2016. Thank you for the super chat, Jilbo. Lydia, we might need Gertie Christmas tree baubles. That would be cute. That would be cute. Thank you for the super chat. Barb says, you could use humor. You've got it in spades. For example, I can't be wrong. I've already been wrong 4 times this week. That's my max. Yeah. The problem is Jeff is not, humor is not natural to him. His own style of humor is, but my style of humor is totally different. He wouldn't think that was funny if I did that. Yeah, Curious Cat, you will be a good influence on Jeff. Hopefully he can open his mind a bit. Yeah, I even talked about it last night and I was like, I feel like we're in a rough patch again. We need to figure this out. And he was like, well, you're the problem. So once you figure that out, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I hit a wall and I can't, where do I go with that? What am I supposed to say to that? If Jeff thinks he's right and I'm the wrong one, and he even said, he goes, I'm a perfect gentleman. So he was like, you're the problem. And I was like, okay, good night. I don't really, because I just don't know what to say to that. There's no give. There's no like, okay, well, let's talk about this because you're right. I feel like I was wrong here. And then you said this and it bothered me. That's how I like to get through things. I like to get through the thick of it and come out on the other side. But when someone just goes, well, yeah, I hope you work that out because we are having problems and that's because of you. It's like, okay, I don't know where to go with that. Denver Stevo, Jeff and I dated almost 2 years, like a little shy of 2 years before we got married. And I do have to say that changed when we got married. He did not really talk that way so much until after we were married. Yeah, Steve, the anger response is a sign of insecurity. It means you need to make sure he understands you aren't attacking him. It sounds like it's improved. Yes. And I do make a point to go, whoa, 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 I'm not attacking you. So when he says you're attacking me, I will say, Jeff, this is not me attacking you. And I don't want you to feel attacked or backed into a corner or what. Like, please don't go there because I'm not doing that to you. So I definitely like try to handle his communication with whatever it may be. Yeah, Lydia, that's why you're single. If Jeff and I don't work out, I told my therapist this yesterday. Jeff is probably going to be very upset that I'm having this conversation, but I would have this conversation with total strangers. So I'm just open like that. I told my therapist yesterday, if we don't work out and we get divorced, I am never getting remarried. I never, ever, ever want to go through this again where I marry someone and I feel too controlled and like I don't have a choice in a lot of situations. I'll never do this again. I'll date again, but I will never get married. Yeah, right there, Barb. Honey, I used up all my fighting, all full up over here. Yeah, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. That's right, Kathy Ann. You can't give so much grace that it threatens your peace. Steve, I'm single as well, but that's because my then wife went a little nuts due to some brain chemistry issues. She's much better now and we are good friends. That's really good to know. Yes, Keela, 100% it's gaslighting. And I know that. I know that. It triggers Jeff when I say that. I said it 2 nights ago. I said, you're gaslighting me. And he was like, you're the gaslighter. That's all he can do is just turn it around. And I was like, okay. I mean, I just don't want to scream and fight anymore. So I just am like, all right. And I'm not against divorce. So if something's not working out to the point where I'm like miserable, I'll just get divorced. I hope that doesn't happen, guys. I know we love each other. I don't think that it's not that there's a lack of love. It's just Jeff is heels dug in, set in his ways on things. He just isn't willing to look at another option. He's not willing to look at other ideas. It's just, this is the way it is. You either live with it or too bad. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. That's all. So it's just like, I know the guy loves me, and when he's not triggered like that, things are fine. But he is very serious and set in his ways. I'm not. I'm willing to be flexible. Oh, do you really, Kathy Ann? You have the same issues? I'm sure it's not uncommon. I can't have a safe discussion like that, Steve. How do you have a safe discussion? When you do X, I feel Y. So when I have those discussions, most of the time, probably 75% of the time, it goes, when I say that, he goes, well, that's because of you. You need to turn around and take a look at yourself. You need to go see your therapist and talk about this, because when you do X and you feel Y, that's because of your behavior. That's Jeff's answer. It's never, oh my God, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Okay, let's back up and see how we can fix this. I never get that kind of a response. A couple times a year, that's why I said 75, 80% of the time, that's how it goes. But a couple times a year, he will actually listen and go, let's fix this. But it's rare because, again, he's so set in his ways and he's so not willing to be very wrong that it's more, well, you need to take a look at what you're doing to be causing and creating that. That's the answer. Yeah, Keela. I do, Sandy. I say agree to disagree a lot, just because otherwise the only other option is for it to escalate and turn into a screaming match. And I really don't like to do that. No, we can go to couples therapy, and I think Jeff would, Steve. Unfortunately, DNV 1983, he is right. People do fight. Have you gone to therapy with Jeff? Have you asked him why he always thinks you're wrong? I have not gone to therapy, and yeah, I think I've definitely asked him why he always thinks I'm wrong, but he won't respond to that. He'll say something like, well, if you would change your behavior, then you wouldn't be wrong. It's just very weird and articulate and gaslighty when we get into it. It's very gaslighty. Like, well, you need to look at your behavior and what you're doing. That's what's really causing this. I can't stand that. Like, it's just a weird place to be. And it's like, we're not getting anywhere because you're not willing to break down the walls and just be real. You're too willing to like put up a wall and go, you can't cross this line and it's your problem. It's like, come down a little bit off your high horse and let's just talk. You know, I'm not attacking you. I'm not mad at you, but I need to get through to you. And I can't often do that. Joni, Reese, we love you the way you are. I meant, oh, to say my cervix is shy. You're allowed to have your own opinions. Thank you, Joni. My cervix is shy as well, and so is my colon. Keela, I truly feel like I'm going nuts when he tells me I am wrong, when I have the proof, or when he tells me he didn't say something when he did. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, Lydia, it pretty much shuts the conversation down. There's nowhere to go with it, guys. And I'm sure everybody in this chat has experienced that at some point. When somebody, when somebody puts up a wall and they're done and they're just blaming you and pointing the finger your way, it's like, there's just nowhere to go with this except up, escalate it and start screaming, which I'm not willing to do. So, I think there's another dynamic here, and Jeff started doing this years ago. When he watched the Leah Remini show, the Aftermath show on Netflix, he learned about Scientology. I never explained Scientology to Jeff much at all, but there was something he started doing to me, and it really bothered me after he watched that show. He learned about TRs. And do you guys remember what bull baiting is? It's a specific training routine in Scientology where you sit down with the other person, and the other person can get close to you, clap their hands, make you laugh, make you cry, say horrible things, and they're trying to train you into not having any emotion. Okay. I've had thousands of hours of bull bait. Okay. After Jeff learned about what that was on the show, we would fight or argue, and he said, I would just go blank like I am now. I just don't fight. But he took it as me bull baiting. He would say, he would go, you're bull baiting. You're being a Scientologist. Now you're using your Scientology on me. And I was like, see, that triggers me even worse because I'm trying to heal from that and like get out of that. I was seeing a therapist at that point, and I was like, I'm trying to grow from this, and you just slap it right back in my face. So he still does that to me sometimes, and he'll be like, oh, you're being a Scientologist. Oh, I see. You got your Scientology hat on. And it's like, why would you do that to me? Like, I'm not doing that. And if I am doing that, it's not on purpose. It's just probably something that I've done since I've been doing bull bait since the age of 4. And he said, he goes, it's like a switch for you. He was like, when I start fighting with you, you just like, okay, I hear you. And that is bull bait. But I'm not doing it intentionally to piss him off. So that's another like issue that we have. I am probably way behind on this chat. Yeah, curious cat. Until he learns he has stuff too, he can't grow. I hope he can open up a bit and see if it isn't all you, because it never is all one person. I agree, but that's going to be up to Jeff. I can't make him do that. Bandana fan, is there ever a calming period where you just come back and talk? A couple of times a year, yes. But for the most part, we have some kind of a fight like we're having now, and I just have to get over it. Like, I just have to pretend it didn't happen a few weeks later. And then Jeff never addresses things. So like, he'll never come back and be like, I'm really sorry I said that. He just smooths it over and acts like nothing happened. And I'm the opposite. I kind of want to talk about what happened earlier because it made me feel weird. No, Jeff is not like that at all. Lori, Jeff, we love you. Just put yourself in a position to listen. Yeah, is he in here? I'm sure he's going to be furious, but this is the truth. And I'm not throwing Jeff to the wolves here. I absolutely, as a matter of fact, my therapist said yesterday, what is it about you in a marriage or in a relationship that you do to, like, what's your love style? Like, what would you say? How do you love people, the person you're with? And I was like, I would say that I'm a huge caregiver. Like Fred used to always call me mother hen because I think I do it to the extreme. Like, I love doing Jeff's laundry, cooking for him, having his underwear folded how he likes it and put away, having everything clean. I love making sure I go to all of his doctor appointments with him because I'm like, I want to be a second set of ears. And then when we do go, I'm like, okay, now what about this? What are we looking at here? Can we do a blood test on that? I'm very up on like caring, making sure that he's taken care of. And he said, what are some things that you think that are a problem, to the extent where it's a problem? And I said, probably my incessant need to be reassurance, to need to be reassured. Jeff can't stand when someone asks the same question over and over, and that's me to a fault. I will ask the same question over and over, but reform it in different words. And that drives him crazy. But I constantly need reassurance. And I'm looking at it now, that probably comes somewhat from my background. Steve, he is willing to go to therapy. I've asked him before. Kathy Ann, that happens to you too. Keela's saying that happens to her too. Yes, Jilbo Baggins, I agree with you on that. That part makes me want to cry because he doesn't do it as much now, but like, he will sometimes really do that to me. Where he'll go, oh, you're using your Scientology training on me. And I think I'm not. And that hurts because I'm trying really, really hard to unlearn that stuff. And if I can't unlearn it, I want to forget about it. And it's really hard for me to do either one. But I go to therapy every week and I talk about it, and I talk about it with you guys, and I'm working on it. And so for someone to be like, oh, you're just being a Scientologist, it's like, Thank you for pointing that out. And I've told him, can you not point that out? And he goes, no, I need to point it out as your husband. I need to tell you when you're doing it. You need to know when you're doing it. And I'm like, it's not healthy for me. And I don't. But he disagrees. And he's like, no, you should know when you're being a Scientologist. And I'm like, it's just opening up a wound that just keeps bleeding. So I disagree with that. But I don't know, Abita. Could it be he's feeling a tad insecure because you've come into your own and being out of the cult and blossom? No, because this was going on way before that. Yeah, Curious Cat. It's not good, guys, but here's the deal. And Jeff's going to be furious with me, I'm sure. I talk about real things, good or bad, sad or happy. And the point, my therapist said this the other day, he goes, if any couple that tries to say like, oh, we don't fight or we've never, is full of shit. Everybody experiences this. I try to normalize it in my head by saying, everybody goes through this. Now, I'll never fucking do it again. If that tells you anything, I'll never do this again. So if I get divorced from Jeff or we live happily ever after, I'll probably outlive Jeff. He's 30 years older than me. I'll never do this again. I'm not getting married again, and I will be in a relationship, but I want to be able to walk away if this kind of thing ever happens because it's not for me. I spent my whole life doing this. Steve, he's using your Scientology background to shield himself. He thinks Scientology has broken you and your therapist will fix you. Yes, he does think that. Yes, he will say, like, do you have a therapy appointment? You need to go see your therapist. That's fine. Guys, here's the thing about, I don't know, I think this word is thrown around too loosely, narcissist. I don't know if that makes Jeff a narcissist, but going to therapy, I was watching something, a clip. Sometimes it's not a good thing to send someone like Jeff to therapy because they oftentimes don't change. People who are very egotistical, very confident in themselves, very proud of themselves, it doesn't always help because they're not willing to see the light. Yes, Denise LaFond. I'm sure you had enough of the screaming matches when you were in Scientology. I'm kind of guessing that shouting matches trigger you. They do. And yeah, I'm sure he's not a closeted Scientologist, Barb. And I have screamed with the best of them, guys. I can take somebody apart. I haven't done it in a long time. But when it does get to the point and Jeff has pushed me far enough, I will come unglued on him. And I don't know if that's what he's looking for because it gets nowhere and my throat hurts afterward from screaming. But sometimes it's like, I can't listen to this anymore. I just won't. I'm just not going to. But screaming is not a solution for me. Kristen, it probably will, guys, work itself out. We're just on a live today where I'm sharing that side of things with you guys. It doesn't mean that Jeff is a bad guy. It doesn't mean that, I was hiding something. It's just is what it's real life. It is what it is. And the hard part is getting a person. I mean, it's hard enough to change your own ways. It's hard enough to take a look at the things you need to change. Imagine changing somebody else. I've kind of given up on that. I don't think Jeff's going to, I don't even really need him to change. I just wish he would soften a little bit sometimes. And you've seen Jeff. He's a sweetheart. The guy would do anything for me. He's generous. He's got a big heart. But I think where we run into trouble is like, if I disagree with something, he takes that as disrespect. And he's said that. I've disagreed with him on things and he's like, how dare you disrespect me? And I'm like, I just am disagreeing with you. I don't agree with you. Or he'll be like, don't challenge me. And I'm like, yeah, I am allowed to think a different way. Those things are red flags to me that I'm like, I don't know if that's how Jeff was raised. It probably is. And I don't know how to change it. I don't know how much that's going to change. And Jeff does have a history. You know, he was married for 35 years, and apparently it was a really pretty toxic situation toward the end. I've met his ex-wife. I think she's a lovely woman. I've met Jeff's children, and they're wonderful people. So, but apparently it was pretty toxic. I am behind on the comments, and I'm trying to catch up. Going rogue. I typically love that you and Jeff stories, but what he is doing by throwing Scientology in your face is 1,000% wrong. Nobody should ever use trauma against you. I agree. And I don't know if he's doing it intentionally to hurt me or if it's just something that he really thinks. You can totally see my pink bra. That's crazy. It's like a baby pink. I didn't think you could. It's just, I think he thinks he's doing the right thing. I don't think Jeff's intentions are to tear me down or be mean. It's what he believes. He's so fixated on what's his routine and the way he does things. I think he just thinks it's right. I think it's abusive, but he doesn't. Kathy, and it's your brain shutting down from the confrontation because that's what it's been taught. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I had nothing but confrontations my whole life. I can, like I said, I can fight. If you want to fight, I'll fight. I can do it. Trust me. I'm real good at it, but it's not me organically. It's not who I naturally am. And I learned that getting out of the church and the no more screaming. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I don't have to fight for anything. I don't have to fight anybody off. Like, it's so nice. So I know that's not who I am. I don't naturally trigger and start screaming at people. Now I know that. I just don't want to fight. And if Jeff starts to fight, I'm like, I'm not going to fight you. I don't want to fight you. So I know that that's not my natural state. Andrea, hey, Jeff, can you go to counseling and find ways to communicate before she says goodbye to you? Guys, I feel like I shouldn't have said anything because I really don't want you guys to reach out to Jeff. That will really make him wrong and probably upset. He will take that as disrespect and he's probably going to be angry with me, but this isn't a secret. This isn't I would share this with anybody. This is just normal daily life and routine of our marriage. This is not something I was hiding. But I don't want you guys to like throw it in his face. Oh, okay, Lori, he's not in the chat. He shouldn't be. He's actually doing something at a client's place. Yes, Ann Walsh, unfair to diagnose or criticize Jeff. Two sides to every story. Again, Jeff is my husband, so I think he's a wonderful person. And I think that if you balanced and weighed it out, things are way better than not. But I mean, yeah, not throwing Jeff under the bus and not diagnosing Jeff. I couldn't diagnose Jeff. I just know that I've watched some things about narcissism and he might fit the bill on some of the attributes of that, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Exactly, Steve. Chat, let's remember we were hearing one side of the discussion. I'm not saying Reese is wrong. I'm thinking both Reese and Jeff are human beings and have issues to work through. That's what I've been saying this whole time, guys. Yes, Steve, I know you love me. I think here's a good to sweep over everything I just said. Marriage is hard. This is the hardest marriage I've ever had. My marriages before this, the first one ended on great terms. I mean, we are still friends. My next one to Fred, you guys know that story. I was head over heels all the time. We never had any issues. This is a tough one because Jeff is who he is. And he's a very, very, this is what attracted me to Jeff. He's a very strong man. He's very strong in his mind and he knows who he is. And he's just a little bit too certain about that for me sometimes, meaning he's not willing to be flexible on opinions. He has his own strong opinions. That's not a bad thing, but it is when it gets to a point of fighting. Now, are we fighting all day, every day? Never. Jeff and I typically get along very, very well, but we go through, like everybody probably does, these weird, like we'll have an uptick, an upswing is what I call it, where just like we just are bickering with each other. And when we bicker is when it happens. And he's like, you're wrong. And I'm like, I'm not wrong. And he's like, that's in your head. That's when all that happens. And then it loosens up and it relaxes and we're fine again. So, I mean, anybody who's trying to make it seem like, oh, this is really bad. Oh, Jeff's a bad guy. He's really not. I think he's just a human being and he's got a lot of his own probably past trauma. And remember what my therapist said, when people attack or are nasty to you, they're working out their own shit through you. You think Jeff doesn't have his own shit that I don't know about? I'm sure he does. He's not as open as I am. He's probably got all kinds of things that I don't know about because he doesn't talk about it. So what does he do instead? He works it out through me. That's just what people do. Doesn't make Jeff a bad guy at all. It makes it something I want to work on, but I just haven't figured out the right key to work on it without making him feel like he's got a problem. Like, I don't ever want anyone to be like, see, I don't like it when people are like, you've got a problem, you need to work on that. Okay. That's like telling a drug addict, you need to quit doing drugs. People have to solve things in their own time. So people have to figure things out for themselves. You have to know when, honesty is righteous and when honesty is just a party trick. It doesn't work to tell somebody what's wrong with them because it just makes them feel bad about themselves. And I don't want to tell Jeff, this is what's wrong with you and you're a terrible person. Jeff's a wonderful person. He's changed my life for the better in so many ways. Look at Huxley. I mean, he has totally spent most of his time as a father with Huxley. He calls Huxley his son. So just because I'm doing a live today, one live where I talk about the ins and outs of the hard parts of our marriage doesn't make Jeff a bad guy. And I hope that no one's running with that going, Reese is lying or Reese is saying this. I didn't even intend to talk about this today. It's just something we went off into the weeds about. And if you guys can't handle it, then maybe you should leave the chat. But please know that that's not me saying Jeff's a bad person. Jeff has quirks just like I do. And the way he deals with things can be difficult for me, probably mainly because of my background as well. Yeah, thank you, Chris 10M. Not to bash Jeff. Hope he can learn to listen. Hopefully he too can go ask for a little therapy. Reese, I hope you always come to us when you need to vent. I hope I can. I hope that it's not like no one's taking this and running with it like Jeff's an evil person or Reese is a bad person for throwing Jeff. I mean, we're having a discussion just like I would with any of my friends, which I don't have any. I have you guys. You are my friends. So I consider this a safe place to talk about it. Thank you, Joni. Nat B from Canada, everything you were saying is resonating so much. It's workable, guys. It's workable. It's fixable. And if it isn't, I get divorced. I mean, and if I get divorced, it will be a very friendly divorce. It would just be Jeff, I love you. I've told him this. Jeff, I love you very much. I will always care about you, but I can't coexist with you anymore because this is becoming so disturbing my peace that I can't live my life happily. But I wish you well. And, it would be that. That's how it would end. It would not be, fuck you, I'm taking you for all you're worth. That's not my style. I would never do that. When I went through my first divorce, the judge said, do you want alimony? Because you're entitled to it. And I said, absolutely not. No, I wouldn't do that. So I am in this with Jeff because I love Jeff and for the right reasons. And if it comes to a point where we just can't seem to reconcile our differences, then we will walk away from each other, with love, just like I did with my in-laws who left me over Scientology. I sent her a message and I said, I accept your disconnection with love. Guys, I don't want anything but peace in my life, even if it's a divorce. It would not be a hateful thing. Man brain. Let's hear Steve's opinion on that. If I admit I'm wrong, it means I'm weak. Real man brain. I am wrong from time to time, and it takes real strength to realize and admit it. Yes, and I think that's hard for some men, especially men of strength and power like Jeff. Jeff is a very powerful man. He's proud of where he's gotten in life, and he should be. He's accomplished a lot, and he knows a lot. And sometimes I think he thinks I insult his intelligence, because I will ask a question too many times and he'll be like, I gave you the answer. Do you not believe me? Do you not think I'm smart enough? And I'm like, no, 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 no. It's my insecurities. So we both have our issues, as you can see. I will ask my therapist if he'd be willing to see us as a couple. I don't know if he would. And if he wouldn't, I'll find somebody that would. Yeah, Lori. Don't be mad, Jeff. We're all friends and Reese is just having friend chat. We love you too. If Jeff gets mad about this, I'll be sure. I mean, he will be because it's important to Jeff what he comes off like. Right now, if he watches this, he's going to say, you're a total liar. Everything you said was a lie. And I'm never coming on your show again because you just made me look like a monster and you're a liar. That's not true, but that's how he will view it. And I hope that's not the case, but I would say all of the things I'm saying right now to anybody. This is not anything I would hide. My close personal friends and family all know everything I just said. I mean, you guys know me. I talk about everything, everything. Tom Bowers, do I think it's coming to that? Are you talking about divorce? I don't think so. I mean, I've been thinking about that for over a year now, and I don't think so. I haven't pulled the trigger as far as like going to meet with a divorce attorney, but I've considered it many, many times. Yeah, yeah. And Jeff says that's because of my Scientology background. He says like, oh, it's your automatic to disconnect, like your automatic you jump to that conclusion of disconnection. So he's like, you just want to run away from everything. That's just how you deal with stuff, by running away. And I'm like, maybe you're right. That could be. But I know that I'm not going to fight and argue and be unhappy I'm 39. I've got some time left, hopefully. And I'm not going to spend that time being unhappy. I'm going to be happy. I have no idea. Hats off to you. Do you think it has anything to do with Jeff being a Mason? Masons, I don't know a lot about them, but they're very set in their ways. I don't know. Probably not. Yes, Steve, Jeff is a good man. Doesn't mean he's a perfect man. That's so true. I don't know, Jilbo. First, what could Jeff do to fix this? He would have to, like Steve said, come to the point of realization where he could say, I'm not perfect, but I have things to work on. He has to see those things. I can't make him see those things. Yeah, Lynn, learn the art of compromise. Chris Tenem, everybody fights. I don't try to hurt the one I love when I fight with him. Sorry, lady, love you. Hope Jeff figures out how to fight fair. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Curious Cat, what will I do if it won't change? Well, I mean, I've been living with it this way for a while. I guess more of the question that I'm going to change your question to, what will I do if it escalates and it gets worse? I'll get divorced. That probably comes from Scientology too. I don't have anything on divorce. I have no problem with the idea of divorce. Some people are like, oh, you're just giving up, or you can't get divorced. Well, in Scientology, you can, and that's probably my thinking there. I love that too, Lori. We could disagree on some topics, but we do it respectfully and still love each other. Totally. Keela, it's a venting therapy day. We still love Reese and Jeff. I hope you guys do still love Jeff. I'm going to be very disappointed, guys, if we jump on a live and you guys are like, Jeff, you disgust me. I hope nobody does that, because one, that's just not right to do that. And two, I'm sharing with you just like I always share. So, I mean, this isn't anything different, but I hope that you guys do still respect Jeff, even if you feel differently about him or you have a new opinion of him. I hope you don't share that with him. And my therapist said that yesterday. He was like, if you have to get divorced, just get divorced. You know, if you can't work it out. I mean, he did admit, he was like, none of this is good. Like, that's not good. And, you know, I think he was a little bit concerned, like, where do we go from here with that? How do we fix it? Um, but he was like, if you have to get divorced, then get divorced. But he was like, you have to balance and weigh it out. And he said, there's obviously parts of your life where you enjoy having Jeff in it. He brings good things. He's a good person. I mean, it is a pros and cons thing. And I don't know if that's just marriage too, guys. I don't know. I mean, I'm asking you guys, is that just marriage? You know, you have your ups and downs. Jeff and I have our ups and downs. When we have our ups, I am so happy and in love and everything's the way I want it to be. But when we go down into this where we are now, I feel stressed out. Yeah, I feel stressed out and I feel like I don't know what the future is going to hold with Jeff and Reese. Does everybody experience that? Yeah, I've got somebody messaging me saying, they're worried about my openness with a bunch of strangers. I get those messages from people a lot. Maybe I shouldn't have this channel anymore because perhaps I am stupid and naive and I do trust too much. Jeff was talking to me about that the other day. He was like, you are way too trusting. And that's not with this channel. That's my life. I've always been that way. And I've not really been burned because of it. But like, am I going to get burned because I was too open? I don't know. I like to talk things out. And you guys remember I told you the story on the airplane the other day. I was talking it out with a stranger and I told my therapist that. And he was like, that gives me anxiety that you are so open with total strangers. He said, but at the same time, he said, that's a gift that you have because you can get a lot of benefit from strangers. He was like, sometimes it's good to bounce things off of people who don't know you or the situation at all. He was like, I'm actually really impressed that you can do that. He said, I just don't have a lot of people in life that can do that. I've always been that way. I talk to strangers about my yeast infections. Like, I have always been open about everything with people. Is it going to come back to slap me? Probably. That's why we are here for Reese. Relatable. Thank you, Keela. Yeah, Lady BB. Because you are venting does not mean Jeff is a bad person. I'm glad that you guys can see the difference there because, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that about you. This is again, I hope that everyone's adult and grown up enough to see that like this is just me talking to you about a real issue that I've had for years, guys. This isn't something new. But it feels good to talk about it and hear your points of view and your side of the story with your marriage. I hope you guys are up for that and you're not taking this video as, oh, Reese is a terrible person and she's just trying to poison Jeff and his personality. No, not at all. I would love to go to lunch and sit down and talk to people about this kind of thing. Exactly, Nikki B. You love having a real channel to listen and engage with. Are you serious, Louise? You should have married someone like Aaron. Oh, shit, no. I love Aaron, but he is like a brother to me. I feel like we would get on each other's nerves so fast. I would annoy the shit out of Aaron because Aaron is so whip smart and intelligent. And I'm always like way behind. He's waiting for me to catch up. I feel like he'd be like, you're too dumb for me, girl. I am not the right personality for that. John, that's a great question. Wonder if this is the John that I think it is. Reese, do you ever fall into old thought patterns where you start suspecting third party or overton withholds when there is strife in your marriage? That's something I've had trouble with. Yes, 100%. Of course I do. I went through decades of that. I absolutely still fall into those thought patterns of, is there somebody like behind the scenes causing this, like a third party? Or I think, are there overts and withholds here? Like, have you done something? Absolutely. But I do more now than ever kick that out of my mind when it does start to float in. How's my therapist with my Scientology issues, Rose Garden Network? Good. He doesn't know Scientology, but he's very helpful. Like, I really like this guy, and I went through a few therapists, and I really like him. Yeah, Donna, I love that. Jeff is not a monster. Two people in a relationship have two different perspectives they need to mesh. That's right. Just is what it is, guys. I mean, everybody fights differently too. Like, some people fight more dirty and they think they're on the up and up. And I think that's how Jeff can be. I think that he spent decades in a marriage defending himself and fighting, and he's carried that over into this one. Again, what my therapist says, when people are ugly, they're working out their shit through you. I think that's probably true. There you go, Naomi. My relationship isn't perfect, but I love him and he loves me. That's how I feel too. It's just some days are harder than others. When we're on a hard, tick of things being difficult, it's not as easy. You have to work at it. That's the days you have to work at it. And it's hard to work at it when somebody doesn't really want to work at it. Janet from another planet, that's cute. Does Jeff think that the only reason you are fighting is because of you and what you think? Typically, not every time, it's case by case, but yes, sometimes. Yes, I love that, April Goodson. I can only speak for myself, but I would never bash Jeff. I don't live with you to see the whole situation. Marriage is hard. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. Life in general is ups and downs. Absolutely. Lori, you love Jeff because he loves Reese and Huxley. He's a good man. He's flawed. Shocking. Who isn't? Reese, everything you are saying is relatable to anyone who is married or gone through ups and downs. Thank you, Jill Harrison. I didn't even intend to talk about this today. I don't even know how I brought it up, but I'm glad I did. Carol Klingon Targ Herder, every marriage has its thing. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. I like that, Colleen B. Ups and downs are normal, but the goal and disagreements should still have the love and security of the other person intact. Yes, that's the goal. I agree with that 100%. Oh, Joni, you sent me a package? Thank you. No talk, Tony. I have a friend that says if the good days outweigh the bad days, you work together. But if the bad days outweigh the good ways, it's time to separate. That's a great way of looking at it. And I would say the good days right now outweigh the bad days. If that gets worse and flip flops, then I'll do something about it. Ty's channel. Jeff is a sweetheart who is human. 100%. Jeff is a sweetheart. Let's continue to remember that. He's a very good man. 1010, thank you for the super sticker. Thanks, Keela. Reese, this is your channel. You say whatever you want. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's probably true that it's not good to give it all up. I mean, I've always been that way, but maybe it will come back to burn me. I don't know. Downtown Abbey, if you get burned because you were open, that's on the person who is doing the burning. There's nothing wrong with you being your genuine self. I feel like there's no other way to be, and that's true. Suzanne Hersey, I hold so much of myself back and so much of my work life because I don't want to be judged. This family right here lets me be me because you are you, Reese. That is such a nice thing to say. Thank you, Suzanne. Diane Fry's been married for 20 years. It's a roller coaster for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're also only newly married, guys. We've been married a little over 2 years. I also hope that this will all smooth out. Like, I feel like there's bumps and maybe it will smooth out. I just want Jeff to chill out a little bit sometimes. But he's a strong dude. He's strong in how he feels. Yeah, Barb, SBTV tattoo warrior. Maybe you two could work on figuring out what leads to that down part. That's a good point, and I would like to figure that out as well. Scarlet begonias. I run into same situations with my hubby. I think it's because my childhood was unstable. Hang in there, girl. From your friend that's been to Parkville. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. That was really sweet. Oh God, yeah, Downtown Abbey. Girl, you are similar to Aaron in many ways, including quick thinking and witty personality. You'd clash because of the similarities. Yeah. Love Aaron, but couldn't do that. I love getting my teeth cleaned. I wish I could do it more than twice a year. Like, I want to pay out of pocket. I just love the feeling. I'm such a weirdo about brushing my teeth. I spend 6 minutes every morning with it. I double it on my Sonicare toothbrush because I'm just like weird about it. I think I overdo it. Tom Bowers, bingo. Attacking Jeff would take away from this being Reese's safe place. 100% it would. Thank you for saying that, Tom. Jesus is God. I think you're right. That you're wrong thing is a man thing. I think you're right. Some men, not all men. Barb is not flawed, she says. That sounds right. Ken says, Reese, as a man, most don't like to be wrong. I've been married 37 years in my marriage and it's give and take. Wow, congrats on that length. I agree with you on that, Ken. Joni Cummings, Reese, you have a channel. You have a therapist. You're not dumb. I know Jeff is a good man. I came here because of you being here. Still, of both of you, I know Jeff loves you. 100%, guys. We're just talking. I really hope no one takes away today and goes, I already can see all the nasty comments when this live is over and people are going to be like, we watched you because we liked you as your marriage to Jeff and you threw him under the bus and we're not going to watch you anymore. And I'm going to go, okay, did you find the door? Because we changed the locks. It's funny. It's like when someone goes to a store and they're super rude and they're like, I'm never going to shop here again. I'm like, bye. We hope you never come back. You're banned. No one wants you here. Scarlett, your openness is part of what I love about you. Well, good. And thank you for the super chat. It's okay you're late, Stephanie Lynn. I'm just glad you're here. Guys, I'm really glad we're chatting about this because I'm seeing I love talking. This is one of the reasons I think I love talking about deep stuff like this, whether it's good or bad. I like perspective. I love seeing a comment from someone where I'm like, I never thought of that before. That's why I love therapy because I always take away something every week and I'm like, I never looked at it like that before. That's probably me coming out of the church too. Like there's so many new ideas in the world. The church is a box and it's tight and you have a certain amount in that box that you can think with. You can't think outside of it. And so now that I'm outside of it, it's like the sun. I just always feel like, wow, I don't have to think that way anymore. I can think this way. There's so many possibilities. That's how I feel all the time. Oh my God, Lori, that is me 100%. I almost started dating a guy who was really cute, but when he wanted some of my ice cream cone, I saw his tongue was coated white. I almost gagged. I am the same way about tooth health, mouth health. I scrub the shit out of my tongue. I was just talking to my hygienist about this. I brush the fuck out of my teeth. I floss the fuck out of my teeth. I'm so weird about people who don't take care of their mouths and teeth. I won't kiss you. I'm not going to kiss you. Lori, we are on the same page there. That is gross to me. Purple coconut, people bring a lot of baggage into relationships from their families of origin, previous relationships, etc. That's so true. Amanda Martin, venting is good. I'm glad that you guys see it as that. We're going to carry on, guys. We're going to keep doing lives. Jeff and I will be back on the same page. It'll be fine. I hope it's okay with you that I shared that. It'll be fine again. It always is. Karma Charms Kitten. Hi, Reese. Get yourself a Sonicare toothbrush. It leaves my teeth plaque-free and long. Girl, I've been using a Sonicare for years and years and years. My father-in-law, who disconnected from us, Doug, was a dentist. So, yeah, I've been using a Sonicare forever. Stephanie, I always use my toothbrush to do my tongue, to brush my tongue, and then I gag. But my hygienist gave me a tongue scraper this morning. I'm going to try it. Yeah, Amanda, I'm obsessed with flossing too. Just clean mouth. I just want to have a clean feeling mouth. I get so grossed out when somebody has like really bad breath. I'm like, you don't floss and I can smell your gingivitis from here. And I'm not going to be friends with you. April, well, my lunch break is over. Got to go back to work. Love you, Reese. I'm ridiculously clean with my teeth too. I knew you would be, April. I knew that about you. Yvonne, welcome. April, go back to lunch or go back to work. Sarah Wynn, welcome. Finally caught up after coming in late. If Jeff didn't do this until you were married, it means he can control that behavior and knows it's not right. Hope he stops gaslighting. That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe we'll have to talk about that in a non-threatening way. ML, any follow-up with Huxley's fam from Thanksgiving? No, but thank you for the super chat. No. I'm actually going to say something while Huxley's not here because I don't always want to talk about it in fear of him listening. I also would like your feedback on this. Today is obviously heavy day. We're talking about heavy stuff. Huxley's birthday is coming up pretty soon. It's in November 17th. And every year for his birthday, he goes to Thanksgiving, which is always the week after that. And he goes to Doug to Doug's mother's. So that would be Huxley's great grandmother, who's 96 or 97. And she's still like super spry. She makes him a cake. They celebrate every year. They've been doing that since Huxley was born. It won't be happening this year since Doug disconnected from Huxley. I want to make his birthday very special this year because he's going to be very depressed. I think Huxley already is depressed. He's struggling. He talks about Doug sometimes. I want to make his birthday really special this year. And I want to know what you guys think about that. I just want to like do whatever he wants to do. He said, I asked him about it last night. I was already trying to prepare in my mind because I just know it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be depressing. The holidays are going to be depressing. This is our first year with our family disconnected from us. And I said, what do you want to do for your birthday? And he was like, if we could afford it, it'd be cool to go to a Chiefs game. And I was like, I doubt that's cheap. So we'll see. And he was like, or maybe a Royals game, baseball, but I don't think baseball is still going. And he was like, I want to go. He told us one of his favorite restaurants he'd like to go to. And I was like, do you want to go to like an indoor, like a indoor swim place, like with, what do you call those things? Water slides, you know? He was like, sure. I'm just trying to think of ways to like really take his mind off of things so that he's not sulking and depressed because he's going to be depressed either way. But Jeff and I were trying to talk about it last night, just as far as like, what could we do that's kind of big and celebrate him? And I just wondered what you guys think. Oh, really, Keela? Okay. Tickets are not that expensive to a football game as long as it's not the playoffs. I didn't even know that. See, I don't know football. That's a good idea. I'm just trying to come up with like what's a good yeah, it's gonna break his heart, Yvonne. It's gonna break his heart to break that tradition and bond. Maybe alter dates when Doug won't be there and you take Huxley instead. I can't do that because I didn't really know that side of his family anyway, and I'm sure they're disconnecting. I mean, I'm sure that Doug has given them some story. I don't really want to go there unless it was safe, but I don't really feel safe doing it. Yeah, Kenneth Huxley has been pushed about therapy many, 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 many times. And I'm not going to force it. He doesn't want to. And he's told me that he will come to me if he feels like he wants to go to therapy. My therapist said, don't force something like that. And he said, I'm doing a good job at the way I'm handling it. So, Naomi, how much is a Chiefs game? Let's get you guys some tickets. Oh, I didn't bring that up to do that, guys. We're not going to go there where everybody thinks I'm trying to make money off the crowd. I don't know how much a Chiefs game is because I don't do football. Oh, that's a good idea, Lori. Take a couple of friends to laser tag. That would be fun. Linda, we're going to work on it. He needs to chill and take responsibility for the lousy attitude. We're going to work on that. Let's see. I don't know. It's tough. Like now that we're getting close to the birthday date, I'm starting to struggle with it in my mind. I'm starting to get depressed myself. I'm starting to feel very sad. And I know it's happening with Huxley. I know that Huxley is getting more and more depressed as I think just as the holidays are coming. That was a big tradition for his birthday. And again, so I'm just trying to think of something big that he would like to do that kind of he goes, wow, that was like it's a memory for him. Like it's a fun, memorable thing where he's like, I remember on my 14th birthday, after all that shit show went down, my mom took me to this, you know, whether it be a Chiefs game or like Lori said, laser tag. There you go, Shannon Mulhall. Plan a day that keeps him busy and distracted. I did this with my teen when my parents died and had such a busy day. The sadness didn't have time to creep in. Here's the hard part about that, ML. I would just invite all his friends over for a movie night if you have a projector, lots of snacks, games. Guys, I like made this whole downstairs. There's like a whole, I'm in the basement of our house. We have a large house. This house is too big for us, but it was a really cool house. And we got it. And we had been house hunting. We looked at probably 50 houses and they sold so fast. So I made this whole basement. It's a finished basement. It's really nice. I made it just for Huxley to have friends. I put this furniture down here. We got a TV, the Xbox. I made it like to where I won't care. Like our nice furniture is upstairs. He's not allowed to eat on that. It's no way. But like I've set it all up down here. Like party it up, dude. You can eat down here, do whatever. Holy $240 per seat for the November 20th game. We won't be going to a Chiefs game. But he doesn't really have a lot of friends. Doug was Huxley's only friend for a long time because they spent so much time together. My mom always says it's weird. She's like, that's why Huxley is such an adult because he didn't really grow up with anybody other than Doug and his parents. So he really doesn't have a lot of friends and it makes me very sad. I encourage it all the time. I'm like, hey, if you have any friends, invite them over. I'll meet their parents or you can go to a friend's house. Or, you know, you want to have like a fun night here with pizza and popcorn. And I have really pushed for that, but he's just now kind of coming out of his Scientology shell. Even though he didn't do Scientology, he was under the umbrella of Doug, who was constantly controlling his childhood. And I allowed that. I'm not blaming Doug, but he would come and get Huxley almost every weekend. He would come and get Huxley 2 or 3 nights a week and take him to eat. They would go all over Kansas City and do fun stuff. Huxley really didn't like me very much growing up because Doug was the fun one. Doug was always, there were no rules with Doug. You know, I keep him on a strict bedtime and Doug would let him do whatever he wanted. or have all the screen time in the world. Doug was always breaking my rules as a parent. I would say, don't allow this, and Doug would purposely give it to him. So yeah, I think yes, Lori, looking at it now, I didn't look at it this way then, but now it sounds like he was grooming him for Scientology 100%. Yes. Kelly H on marriage. I know if my husband spoke to hundreds of strangers about me in a public online video, my perceived faults, it would really hurt me deeply. Well, you have to open and broaden that a little bit. I have a whole channel where I talk about everything in life. So yeah, I'm guessing your husband, if he went on just specifically to talk about that and didn't have a channel where he talks about it all the time, might hurt your feelings. But Jeff knows what he married, and I have a channel where I talk about the ins and outs of my life 100%. So if this does hurt his feelings, I will address that. But I would be shocked if he was shocked. You know what I mean? I talk about everything. But we'll see. Jeff would be welcome to come on and talk about my faults. I feel like I pretty much have told you guys all of my faults, and you can sum them up in your own way as well and see that I am a tough person probably to be with in a relationship because of my constant being insecure. Yeah. So back to I just don't know. I just want to make it really special. And that's another reason on the Boy Scout trip for next year on around Christmas, that trip, I want him to go on. They go camping and they go to a trip to Disney World. And it's like 8 or 9 days long. And I'm like, I want him to do that because I want him to have something to look forward to. Yeah, Daria, a long weekend trip to Tennessee. It could be fun. I just think a long weekend trip to somewhere, even like maybe somewhere he would want to go, but maybe that would be Tennessee. Um, Curious Cat, you mean Jeff. If Jeff's feelings are hurt, tell him what he tells you, then don't behave that way. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Lumi, it's healthy that your son is aware of your feelings. Life is full of challenges. Sure is. Yeah. Thank you, Brisby Tales. I guess this is all new to Jeff in this format. May take a minute to get his head around it too. We have faith in y'all. Yeah, guys. Is there some of you come forward if you're feeling upset about the Jeff thing? I don't want anybody to leave here feeling like Jeff's a dick or Reese is worse because she just came on here and trashed Jeff. Please use your voice now and let's just address it and get that out of the way, because I don't want anyone to feel that way. I can't necessarily change how anybody feels, but I hope that you didn't take it that way. Curious Cat, I just don't ask people for money. So let us fundraise for the Chiefs game. You're welcome to, I've told people my Venmo, you're welcome to super chat on here. But I'm not going to ask for that. Fishing trip, maybe. He does like to fish, and I do too. I appreciate it, Curious Cat. I wasn't trying to shut you down. I don't feel comfortable doing that. That's why I don't talk about my Amazon wish list anymore. Back a whole day for Hux, from breakfast to movie night, maybe after going roller skating or laser tag afternoon fun. Yes, something even like that. Thank you, Keela. You love me and Jeff. Thank you, Lydia. No issues from you. Yeah, guys, if anybody has an issue with what I talked about with Jeff, I hope that you'll come forward and not, say something horrible about it later on. If that's the limit, though, and you guys aren't comfortable with me, my butt. If you guys aren't comfortable with me talking about the real life ins and outs of my marriage, I won't. I can save that for somebody else. Well, thank you, Curious Cat. I like that. I'm not upset about the Jeff thing. I don't think bad of you. I respect you more and I still love Jeff. That should be the outcome of this live, guys. I'm starting to feel a little bit like I'm going to get some shit ass comments of like, you're a horrible human being or you threw a nice man under the bus. I hope that doesn't happen. Jeff and I need to have a long private talk, Steve says. My ex-wife would have killed me if I had done this, but she isn't Jeff. I hope Jeff will come around. We have had so many long and deep talks, Steve, you have no idea. I am who I am, and he knows that. This wasn't sneaky or sly or surreptitious. This wasn't, some way of trying to stick it to Jeff. Jeff's a great guy. He knows where I stand with a lot of things. Thank you, Steve. You don't have any issues because you let me be me. You got to be you. Beck, Chiefs fun. Thank you, Beck. Lori's posting my Venmo. You're funny, Lori. Yeah, there you go. Brian Lucas. They'll adjust. If they don't, screw them. Okay, good. I hope everyone's taking this as just any other live, guys, where I was just open about any relationship with another person, with my vagina, with anything. I hope we're not going in a weird place. Thank you, Amber Lowe. It's real life issues that not a lot of people want to talk about. This is your space and able to put up the content you want. It is real life issues, and you guys should know by now that that's what we address here. Yvonne, Reese, you saying out loud what you need from your husband is so important, and people need to be like you and say what they need. I do tell people what I need when I'm in a relationship. That would be nice. Would you feel comfortable talking to Aaron and meeting in person? He has teen daughters about Huxley's age. Maybe they could become friends. I would love that. Steve, I know you weren't accusing me of throwing him under the bus. I didn't take that at all. There you go. You didn't leave a cult to not be free in yourself. Exactly, guys. Thank you, Joni. Keela, you needed this today. Thank you. I thought I was the only one going through this type of stuff. No, no. I honestly think what the former comment said about people experience or they know, like this stuff happens way more than we realize. People just don't talk about it. And people don't like me for talking about it. Some people believe this is a private conversation between you and your husband, or this is something private in your marriage. You shouldn't be sharing with the world. I'm not covering anything up, guys. Whatever we go into and talk about is what we're going to go into and talk about. If it's an uncomfortable subject for you and it's triggering, I recommend that you probably leave this live or whatever live that you don't feel good about. God dang, that's true, Steve. No less weird than the bar in Nashville. That got real weird real fast. That was a fun live until it wasn't. That got really weird with that Chuck dude, didn't it? I think that's kind of where we're going with this is I tend to touch on things and talk about real life things that some people don't want to talk about, that they're uncomfortable talking about. And I have respect for those people. I just ask that instead of you leaving some horrific comment about your opinion about how I shouldn't talk about it, look at that. Speaking of Jeff, he will arrive around 2:05. That's specific. He's on his way home. I talk about very real things. Hey, witness. I think so too, Lori, that we should move to the Nashville area. I love that, Pup Groomer 20. I'm taking this as you and I sitting at the cafe having a private conversation like best friends would. No changed opinions of anyone. I love that. That's what everybody should be taking away from this chat. And you probably are. But I just don't want anybody to walk away from this going, "Did you know your wife hates you? Did you know that your wife throws you under the bus?" I hate when people it's like that game of telephone. It's like, I hate when somebody I was very clear and specific about something, and then they take it and twist it and interpret it and do a different way, and they're like, "Hey," I mean, that's just media, right? I mean, it's just the way of the world, but I hate when people do that. It's like, "That's not what I said. That wasn't the message. Don't say that. You know what you just did there. You twisted it. Don't do that. It's not cool." Oh, Teddy Bear Scott, you should not have discussed Jeff in the way you did. Okay. Well, that's definitely, I appreciate you coming forward and sharing that opinion. Um, I respectfully disagree with you and I discuss everything in the way I do. And that's just, I just am very, have an open opinion about things and I don't lie and I don't sugarcoat things either. You know, it's real and it's raw. And everybody has issues in their marriage. Doesn't change the fact that Jeff is a wonderful human being. He's a good man. You're just open. Why would you not be about your marriage? Yeah. You lost your husband at 51 years. We're sorry to hear that, Teddy Bear Scott. I'd never put my husband down the way you did in this chat. Well, that's definitely your viewpoint. So I think that's really sweet that you would never discuss your husband that way. I don't live in your head and you don't live in mine. Chuck is a truck stop kind of guy. Yeah, he might have been. Misty, stick it out. It's worth it. I'm sure I will, babe. Lydia, you're probably right. People are uncomfortable because we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it enough. Now, I do disagree with you there, Teddy Bear Scott. Jeff is older and knows more than you do. I mean, what does that even can you break that down? What does that mean? What is your point to that? He is older. Does he know more? Possibly because of his age, but I guess I don't understand your point. Everybody's Birking for the weekend. We ain't snitches. You guys are welcome to say something to Jeff. Guess what? Guess who's going to say something to him when he gets home? I'm going to tell Jeff this whole live so that he's not thrown off if he goes to watch it, guys. It's not a secret. I just don't want um, people to be like, Jeff, you're an asshole. That would not be cool. And Lori will boot your ass out anyway if you do. Lori says, Teddy Bear Scott, that is absolutely not true. Wisdom does not always come with age, nor does maturity. Steve, I don't need to make it private. Teddy Bear Scott is fired up. She has a lot of growing up to do. Well, don't we all, Teddy Bear Scott? But you seem to be fully grown up and know more than everybody else. So you clearly don't like it in this chat. Maybe you um, want to leave it. I think there's a place where you can leave the chat if you don't want to be here. We don't want to make you be here and be argumentative. This is like my marriage. Why are we arguing? There's no point. Let's not do that. If you don't want to be here, Teddy Bear Scott, please don't. Yeah, Nikki B. I think Teddy Bear Scott is just trying to start arguments. Maybe Teddy Bear Scott. Uh, yeah, thank you, Steve. You've made your point. Thank you for that. Please don't belabor it. It's okay. Everybody can have, guys, you don't have to agree with me. It's okay for people to come forward and say what Teddy Bear Scott said. I appreciate it. But if you're getting to the point where you kind of like are not enjoying this, I just think why torture yourself? Teddy Bear Scott may be a friend of Jeff's or something. Who knows? Thank you, Curious Cat. I talked about him in a respectful way. I don't know if I was respectful or not. I was just very open about it. Um, Guys, don't change your opinion of Jeff. You know, take Jeff for what you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to think. Think whatever you want to think, but know that I do love Jeff very, very much. And none of that has changed. I'm just trying to figure out a solution on how we can deal better with our fighting issues or our disagreements. Um, you know, I'm trying to navigate that, and it helps me to do that on my channel. It's very therapeutic for me to talk with my friends and my family, and that's how I consider you guys on this channel. That's all. Doesn't make Jeff a bad person, doesn't make me a bad person. Um, it's just trying to figure out everybody's trying to figure out how to live a better life and solve problems. And so I'm doing it on my channel. That's how I do it. And apparently I have a lot of growing up to do. That's funny. Lori, did you did you boot her out? She won't be here for at least 5 minutes. We'll see from there. I don't mind people being negative or disagreeing on here, guys. I mean, everybody's entitled. You don't have to agree with me. Have we ever seen Teddy Bear Scott before? I don't recognize that person. I trust Lori. Lori doesn't F around. Lori is very, very protective. Thank you, Misty. You think I was respectful and still we still love Jeff. That's the outcome I want, guys. I'm sorry if I was too real and upfront with you and I showed you the guts of it, but I'm really not sorry. That's kind of how I do things. Yes, Stephanie Lynn. Jeff is an amazing man. He loves me and Hux very much. None of that changed after my conversation with you today. Tiff, there you go, girl. Marriage is always find a balance. 23 years here. It's true. It's true. I mean, how many people feel balanced in anything? I'm constantly trying to find balance on things and I really do work at it. You know, whenever I do something to upset Jeff, I think, what did I do there that I could fix that so I don't do it in the future? And I'll ask him that. I'll say, how did I obviously mishandled that. Like, how can I do this where you don't feel triggered in the future? Because that was not my intention. I say that to him all the time when he gets angry. I'm like, whoa, like that wasn't my approach. So how could I have done it differently? I do that all the time. We all have shit to work on, guys. Nobody's getting out of this perfect. Jeff and I are equal in being flawed. Nobody's more flawed than the other. And I wasn't trying to represent Jeff as being super flawed, and I'm not. Fuck, you know, I'm way more flawed, I'm sure, than him because of my Scientology background. I'm sure I'm way more fucked up than the average human being. Probably. I don't know. I'm catching up. Thank you, Bandana fan. I'll always be respectful, and I hope you work it out. We'll work it out, guys. I don't see us separating or getting divorced. I just always try to have a plan in place. If things got really bad, I would, with a lot of respect and love, just tell Jeff, like, this is not what I signed up for, and you don't want that kind of a life either. So we're gonna move on from it. That's all. Oh, Teddy Bear Scott, are you back, or am I just really behind? Um, Excuse me, I'm not trolling. I listen to her every time she's on. Well, thank you for being such a loyal fan. I've watched every since Aaron doxed her. I feel like you shouldn't put down your other half. Well, that's fine. I respect your opinion. If you're still in here, I don't know if Lori kicked you out, but I think that's fair and fine. Steve, it made you uncomfortable. I think that's because it's stuff that's not really talked about. Yes, it is a generational thing. Older couples never talk about, sorry, people are buzzing me on my watch. Older couples never talk about the issues. when it hit extremely toxic levels, which is why someone might think of it as gossipy rather than just being honest. That's a good point. It is a generational thing. Older people don't tend to talk about that stuff, and it does come off as gossipy. Like a lot of people probably took that as me throwing Jeff under the bus. I didn't mean to deliver it that way if you took it that way. Again, I have sat down with random ass strangers. I think I did at our hotel this weekend over breakfast, and I talked about my marriage and the bad parts of it. I do that with a lot of people, and most people accept it and rise to the occasion and see that I'm not being gossipy. I'm not throwing him under the bus. It's just a real, like, it's a, like my therapist said, there's benefit to talking about this stuff. Never intended to be gossip or bad. I hope some of you walk away. Hi, Mark. That's nice of you to say. Big fan, Mark Finley. Thank you. I hope some of you walk away today with some, I hope that you have some perspective. I love having a group chat like this because then we can all walk away, and you often all message me privately and say, hey, this little tidbit I took from that live really helped me. Or, hey, I was thinking this might be good for you to think about it this way. I love this because the benefits outweigh the cons. Was Jeff pissed off the other night in the hotel room when you said things and he said, well, it's too late now? I don't know what you're talking about. Was Jeff pissed off the other night in the hotel room when you said things and he said, well, it's too late now or something? I don't know what, I don't remember him being pissed off. So whatever you're talking about, I don't think so. We just haven't been we've just not been getting along that well. We don't have knockdown, drag out fights. Every once in a while we will. I'd say 2 to 3 times a year, we'll have some loud ass fights. But we just get into these like biggery ass arguments where he'll be like, well, actually that's untrue. And I'm like, no, it is true. That's what I'm talking about. Who the fuck doesn't do that? I like that, Brisby Tales. I'm sure many of us wish we could be so honest. Keela, what'd you say here? Oh my God, I needed this today. So if the other 413 people get butthurt, not sorry, I needed you, Reese. Well, as long as I don't go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow and I have like 3 subscribers left and it's like you, Lori, and Steve. I mean, I love you guys, but I hope I didn't piss people off enough to where they're like, fuck her. But you know what? If this was supposed to be short-lived, it was. Thank you, Tiff. The key to a marriage is communication. It's good and bad and easy and hard. Reese, you guys are real, and I appreciate that you share this. Yes. Thank you for that. I need to catch up. It is, Donald. It's a learning experience for everyone. And this chat is not meant for everyone. That's why the number dropped. We were in the 400s. Now we're at 394. I love that. If this isn't for you, please don't feel forced to be here. Not everybody's comfortable with this kind of talk, guys. But Yvonne, I'm with you there. We all need to start talking about the uncomfortable. That's part of what this channel is about. Sorry, Jeff's calling me. How do I get back to... Do you guys care if I just tell him I'm... Hey, babe. Hey, how you doing? Good. I'm in the middle of a live. Oh, sorry. That's okay, but I'm on my way home. I saw that you're on your way. Okay, bye. Okay, love you. Bye. Look at that. We have a stable marriage. We were able to talk and it worked out. So I don't want to hear any shit ass comments like they're crazy. There you go. Been married 17 years. There are peaks and valleys. Care for JCYT. I hope this is a place where I can come and vent. Like, I don't want this to ever be like my life in Scientology, where this is going to smack back and fucking hit me in the face, because that's what Scientology is. You share, you do a security check, you go in session, you get off your overts and withholds, And what happens? You feel better at the time, but that shit all comes back to hit you in the face, and you get in trouble, and you have to do an ethics cycle, and you have to apologize to your abuser, and you pulled in that abuse. And what did you do to make that happen? I really hope this channel doesn't turn into that where I'm like, feel bad for doing that. I just want to be myself. For the first time, I want to be open and not have to pay for that. So I think we've beat that dead horse. I just hope that everybody's here for the right reasons and wants to be supportive of one another, not just me, but everybody in this chat. And if you're not, I really hope that you just check out. But I think I love everybody here. Is that Teddy person back? You have, Steve. I know how you feel about it, and I know you're not going anywhere. If I only have 3 subscribers left, I know you'd be one of them. Steve's with me till the end. Lori, you love Jeff. I love Jeff too. Oh, everybody's saying hi to him. That's cute. Steve, no one's accusing you of mansplaining. I don't even use that word. That's like awesome sauce to me. I don't use that shit. We both know it. Curious Cat, I love that. You make it okay to say hard stuff. Seriously, you help a ton of us. Good. I hope that's what the takeaway is today, that it's okay to talk about even the hard stuff. And most people won't agree with me. My mother, if she watched this today, would be shocked. And she'd be like, you took it too far. You can't talk about that stuff. I disagree. I always have. Maleficent. I love that movie. Even if some unsub, you'll get more back than that get you. Totally. And it's not about the numbers anyway, unless I only have 3 left. Then I'm going to be like, damn, I lost over 10,000 people last night. I could never be like a famous person because I share way too much and I'm like overly chatty and I would make people uncomfortable like I'm doing right now. Thank you, witness. Reese, just be yourself. The audience will find you and others will fall away. That's true. Steve, again, no one's accusing you of that, brother. I'm never going to use that word. So you're safe. You're in the trust tree, Steve. You're in the safety nest. Joni, super chat. Reese, how many times do I have to say you're stuck with us? We love you. We love Jeff. This is your safe place. And Reese, you can't get rid of us. Joni, many, many, many more times, because as I've said many times in this chat, I need reassurance, girl. So you're going to have to say it a few more times. You don't have to give me money to say it, but thank you for the $5. Steve, no one thinks you're sexist except that Teddy person. And that was probably, are they back? I don't know. Tiff, we're here to stay, Reese, as one of your first, along with a ton of other people here. We aren't going anywhere. We love you. I need the reassurance. I appreciate you guys saying that. Thank you, Ty's channel. You appreciate my openness. It shows you're human. It makes you relatable and helps others connect with you. I agree. Thank you. You'll manscape though, Steve? Yeah. You know, Jeff did that when I first was dating him. That's so weird. Jeff would get everything waxed when I first started. I mean, he was doing it before we met. I was like, why are you doing this? And doesn't that hurt? Like, I would think that would really hurt on a guy to like wax your taint and balls, your bean bags. Remember when we came up with that night? That was so funny. Yeah, he doesn't do it now because I was like, I don't know who you're doing this for, but you don't need to do it for me, dude. Oh, okay, Steve. Armina, that is so true. You've never had a true best friend who you can talk about deep issues, and now you have us and we're here. No matter what subject, no judgment towards you or Jeff. We love you both. That is a fact. I've never had a best friend before. I never even knew my sister growing up. So that's probably why I verbal diarrhea on everybody, because I don't have like some person I can confide in. That's a great point. I never thought of that. That's why I dump all my problems on you guys. Thank you, Wendy Ellman. I appreciate you saying you're not going anywhere. Steve, you have ethics protection. Yeah. I never had ethics protection. I was always in ethics. My personality does not fit in with the Church of Scientology. Curious Cat, you're hilarious. I can't believe Jeff used to do that. Jeff, I'm so glad you're here. I miss you, Jeff. I miss talking to you. I don't know why you missed the notification. I don't know what to do about that. Guys, we've been on for 2 hours. I feel like I should sign off here in a minute, but I want to get through these questions or comments. What? Oh my God, me and my husband died laughing when there was a commercial for shaving your balls. No way. Curious Cat. I was texting my mother while watching the Beanbag show and accidentally texted her he's going to have itchy beanbags, and she thought I was talking about my stepdad's balls. That's hilarious. You're right, DNV. Just because you fight doesn't mean it will end the marriage. I think many men hate being told they are wrong. It's a man thing, not all men, but it's also a social thing. Men are supposed to be right. Yeah. God, that was funny. Purple coconut. So if you get a best friend, what will we talk about? Good point, because it would be everything I'm dumping onto you guys now. Stephanie Lind, you're not going anywhere, and I'm never going to say so. I wouldn't get waxed. I just can't. I don't have a problem with shaving. My hairstylist the other day was like, she waxes her cooter. And I was like, oh, no, no. No. Oh my God, I got your name right. Armine. Is it Armine? Okay. Oh my God. I really practiced that for a while. Angela Hills? Yeah, we're not going into politics, girl. No way. Oh, you do? Thank you, Jeff. You have a box heading my way for Hux and Jeff. That's so sweet. Thank you, Jeff and Leanne. Nakia Stewart. I love Nakia. I'm going to have a nice long talk with him, Steve. I'm probably going to make him dinner first. That always tends to kind of make him in a better mood. You know, he's a big chubby bear. Joni, I do too. I felt fine talking about this today, but then some people made me feel a little awkward about it. You know, that's me. I tend to like voice something and then one person says one thing and I'm like, ah. So I don't know. I still feel like I didn't do anything wrong because that's how I talk, but shit, I don't know. Oh, my hair is pretty today. Thank you. I washed it. Yeah, Jeff, don't judge him. He's imperfect like all of us. It was just a fun chat with my friends. Witness, I don't see any men's channel having issues talking about man problems. Just saying, Reese. Yeah. Nikia, you're so cute. Okay, Curious Cat. You want to reassure 1,000% I didn't do anything wrong. I hope not. Again, I hope this doesn't come back to slap me in the face, but it wouldn't probably be the first time. Shit. I mean, do you know how many times in my life I've gotten in trouble for what I said, or I shouldn't have said that, and I need to change this? In Scientology, I really didn't fit in. So it's not going to shock me if people reach out to Jeff, or if Jeff sees this and flips out. I mean, it's just not, won't be the first time. Doesn't change the fact that we still love Jeff. But it's okay to talk about people's flaws and things that we all need to work on to better ourselves. And I'm talking about things I need to work on. I'm not going to talk about the things Jeff needs to work on, because honestly, again, that's like telling an alcoholic they need to quit drinking. They have to see that for themselves. You can't force somebody to do that. So until Jeff decides to take a look at that, we'll just continue with the way we are. But I think let's see, it's 1:52. I think I'm going to sign off. Let's see, Harry Potter's beard. I feel bad that Reese feels bad of certain narrow-minded comments. She should feel better after sharing. I do, but I fold easily when people make me feel bad about who I am as a human being. So that's just my own issue. See, that's something I need to work on. I need to build up my confidence enough. And it's getting there, by the way. I have no problem saying to people at this point, like, if you don't like what you're hearing, get out. Rather than trying to change. But I mean, I don't feel bad really about what I shared today, guys. It's very normal in my house. It's normal to fight. It's normal to get along. It's typically normal to answer the bone phone, but that hasn't been ringing that much. And I'm sad about that, but trust me, that'll go back on an uptick too. That happens to me all the time with Jeff. Donald, I appreciate you saying that. It's so refreshing to see someone real on YouTube too. I assume they're all real, but I don't watch other channels. Maybe this will help build my confidence, Keela. Joni, we are your protection squad. You're so sweet. I'm sure I'll get a bunch of messages privately sent to me after this going, oh my God, are you okay? Jeff's an abuser. He's not, guys. He's just a strong-willed man, and he has his opinions and he voices them, and we don't always agree. That's all it is. Yeah. Hey, Never Friend Easy. I didn't see you earlier. Men are cyclical in their emotions, just like women, ebbs and flows, ups and downs. I was talking about that in therapy yesterday. I think men have like a cycle as well. Because I do notice that in Jeff. I do notice that. And Jeff, I mean, that wouldn't shock me. Because he does kind of tend to he'll be back on an uptick of being a dick swinger. I don't know. It's just hard. Marriage is just not easy. Yeah, Barb, SBTV Tattoo Warrior. We're all dick swingers sometimes. Steve Britton, Andrew Gold is Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 2:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, my time. Goldie is a doll. We love Goldie. Thank you, A. Kenneth. I've adored you since I first saw you on Aaron's channel and followed you. I think you're great. Good. I'm glad I'm not losing. I hope I don't lose people over this today. But if that's your path and journey from the Lord, we don't want to stop that either. Thank you, Witness. Yeah, Andrew Gold. I'm looking forward to that next week. Yeah, men do have cycles. I totally believe that. All right, guys, it's been over 2 hours. I would like to do something with Aaron. I talked to him right before bed last night, and he said he would let me know about today. He's just on fire. Dude is prolific with his videos. So maybe we'll do something later. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I can tell you I miss him. I can tell you that I wish we would do something, but I'm going to let Aaron do his thing because he knows what he's doing in life and he knows his path. Yeah, Nakia, I totally agree with that. And I think they'd be better off if they knew that. Men definitely have cycles and have emotional days and need to get things out too. I wish they knew that. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. Why is my okay? I think my Mac's about to die anyway. I didn't know that. I'm gonna sign off before it dies. I'll pop back on later, hopefully with Aaron. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Please don't be upset with me. I love you all. We'll talk again soon. Good night, everybody.